G'day everyone and welcome to the 2019 edition of the ANZCRL 24 Heures de Mans, or the 24 Hours of Le Mans if you're an English speaking person like us. I'm your host for this session, Saturday 15, and with me in the commentary box today I have Lockie 55s.
G'day everyone, how is everyone? Excited? I know I'm shitting myself with the anticipation.
Yeah.
But no, it should be a good race. Unfortunately, early on we've got a grid penalty here from Lloyd. I think he spun it coming out of the pit lane, which was unfortunate. A bit of early session drama for you folks at home.
Yeah, gotta watch out for those pesky speed limiters as well when they're coming out of the pits. But of course, as with every 24 Hours of Le Mans, we're here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. First raced in 1928. It was originally a 17-kilometre long circuit. It's been slimmed down a bit since then. It's now only 13k, so still a very long circuit. The prototypes will be doing this qualifying session about a 3-minute 18, 3-minute 17 maybe. Could even see 3-minute 16s from the Toyota of Uncrewed Squid and the Audi of
as we switch to him
Racing.
right now.
The GTEs are probably doing high 350s, about 354.
I think we're looking at a low 50 at the moment for the pole time. I think Speed Racer was sitting around about a 54, 53 in practice the other night, but the rumour coming out of his camp is that it might be a little bit quicker and he gets a good lap in.
Well, definitely.
None of the GTE guys have really set their pace yet. So it will be a very good session to watch.
Yeah, looking forward to it as always. As Squid now starts his flying lap, and he hasn't had a good showing in the special events to date for ANZCRL. With teaming up with Shads, who's won every single event, hopefully some of the Shads magic can rub off from him and he can put in some very strong performances over the next 24 hours.
This weekend's quiet achiever so far, really showing quite a lot of pace actually from the car at the moment, is Dado Racing. His teammate is Cosmic Robbie at the moment, and looking to be quite the formidable combination to beat as well in the GCEs.
Yeah, the GTE clash will be one to watch, as I reckon there's a lot of quick drivers in that in that class for this event. Lucky if you wanted to go through the drivers that are racing in the GTE class for this session.
Yes, so as we got at the top here, we got Dado Racing at the moment. He's in the Ford GT out there with Cosmic Robbie as his teammate. Next up, we got Speed Racer here, who just got passed, as we'll probably see quite often, by a LMP car there. He's in the number 4 Corvette there. Got Colonel Lloyd in the 37 Aston Martin Racing HR Racing. He's been quite quick, but it should be good to watch because I think there's 3 or 4 guys actually really quick at the moment in the GCE category, within about a second of each other. And for a 4.5-minute lap time, or 4-minute lap time, that's a very good showing from a lot of the GTE guys. As we move a bit further down, we've got the other Corvette here of Gear 3 Gaming, sorry. He's in the number 64 Corvette, teaming up with a newcomer to the league. I haven't got the name on me. What's his name there, Sato?
It's me, Wadey.
There you go. As we move a bit further down, we've got Highlander Racing here. He's teaming up with Simo at the moment. I think Highlander's doing the majority of the sessions, but Simo's hoping to keep up the good effort after last round. And then my teammate here in the number 91 Porsche, hoping to help me and the team go really well, is Woody Lizard. And I think that's it for this session.
Yeah. Again, a lot of quick drivers in the GTE class for this race. We'll be interested to see how they all perform as we see Woody looks like is he on a flyer?
I not a, look the GCEs when you after watching the LMPHs don't look very quick, but I think he is on a flying lap. Yes.
Maybe jump on board. See, jump on board with Woody Lizard as he takes us around this 13-kilometer Circuit de la Sarthe. So you head down the Heures, or often referred to as the Mulsanne Strait, incorrectly, mind, but into the first chicane goes Woody.
I actually think he might be on a warm-up lap at the moment, because he's not shifting as high as you can in the Porsche. The Porsches rev quite high. They can rev out to about 9,000 RPM before they need to shift. So, judging by the fact he's shifting early, I'm tipping he's still on a warm-up lap at the moment. But as we move to the front, Uncruised Squid has just set a really quick lap time. Sorry there, Jake, to switch off the inboard.
I think we probably also want some standings up to see where everyone is too.
Oh, sorry there. I must have clicked that off by accident. Oh, my bad on that one.
So Squid with a 3:18.4 has set the early benchmark.
There's a lot of
for
buttons
the
here to
drivers.
click at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a lot of buttons to find and click, so...
Yeah. Of course, this number 6 Toyota Gazoo Racing Toyota is probably the one to beat at the moment. But this number 8 Audi Sport, Audi of Dark Racing and Fish Racing will be close behind them and push them. They've shown really good pace in practice so far. They've really been pushing it to Uncruised Squid and Shads. So we'll be looking to see how they perform over the longer stints. Watch this space.
Unfortunately, Fish didn't set a lap. He's invalidated that one there, but I was hoping he'd put a lap time in while we were on board, but unfortunately he hasn't.
Yeah, Freight Train is sitting in second place, currently in the pit lane at the moment. He's running this race solo in the number 1 Porsche. Unfortunately, Porsche won't at the real life Le Mans series, or 24 Hours of Le Mans this year, having pulled out at the end of 2017, I want to say. Which a bit unfortunate. The Porsches have struggled, both Porsches have struggled so far in practice. We'll see if they can get those cars sorted out in practice. Of course, we've said Freight Trainers in the number 1 Porsche.
We've just seen Highlander put in a time that's within a tenth of Lloydie there. I think within 0.98 of a second there. Showing the competitiveness of that championship.
Yeah, so I was about to talk about the other Porsche, the number 2 Porsche of myself and Taipan. I know that we've, Taipan especially, has struggled getting that car working in the right operating windows and whatnot. Just haven't quite had the pace of the Toyotas and Audis to date, but hopefully we can keep it consistent enough and pick up any pieces if they fall over.
We just got the map up there just to show everyone that we're jumping around a bit because of the length of the track. There really isn't that many cars setting lap times at the moment, so kind of just got to jump around a bit there, folks at home. Try and find someone on a fast lap.
And the final card that we haven't gotten to in the LMPH category for this race is the number 5 Toyota of Night Pegasus and Emu. Emu actually sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Struggled on that first lap. That might have been an opening or a sort of out lap, as you may. And we should expect that time to tumble as the session progresses. Of course, it's about 8:30 local time here in Le Mans. Of course, qualifying started at 8 at night and will be progressing into darkness, with this qualifying session finishing at about 10 o'clock, so headlights will be required for this qualifying session. but unfortunately, lucky.
That Toyota looks a bit loose there.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it's a bit, maybe a bit. Yeah, maybe they haven't got it quite right at the moment, and that's probably why you're seeing their times are not quite up there with.
I think
with
this
speed.
car was doing 3-minute 20s in practice, so he's definitely capable of more than that. Just how much more will be the question.
So of course we've got dry running here for this qualifying session. I've heard there's going to be a massive weather change overnight before the race hits. According to the weather report, session 1 is going to be raining. It'll rain throughout the entirety of session 1, and it's going to rain through half the night at this stage. So his drivers will be.
Just had a very quick lap from Lloydie there. Sorry.
Yeah. So Lloydie's actually performing quite well in that Aston Martin. Yeah, that Aston Martin. He's doing the race solo as well. That Aston Martin, I've heard, very quick in probably the quickest car in a straight line in the GTE class. So he's certainly making up for it down the long Heures. Yeah, we have Taipans.
Just have a look through some of the guys that haven't set a lap time yet.
Yeah, of course, a lot of these guys have probably validated the lap times. It's very easy to do. If yeah, it's so easy to get wrong, especially if you haven't put in as much practice as what you would have liked.
Looks like Woody Lizard's about to set a lap here. Just coming up towards the line. Definitely looking a little bit more angrier than he did when we were on board before.
Into the forward chicanes we go.
We've this car's actually been handling quite well in the dry. It'll be a bit of an unknown. We've made a few changes for the wet session. Interesting to see how it goes in the end. And quite a decent lap there for Woody Lizard there. 59 is quite good for a first flying lap in the GTEs.
Yep.
You usually gain about 1 to 2 seconds on your second flying lap once the car sort of comes up to temperature.
So 4 cars yet to set a lap at the moment. Taipan, Dado, Speed Racer, I think it is, and Gear 3 Game. No, that's Fish Racing, sorry. That's my bad. As someone's just set a lap.
Taipan just sets a lap there.
3:31.9. So
The man we're on board with there.
which is close to the speed of the number 1 Porsche.
This is a very well presented Ford. I really like this livery.
Yeah, looked a bit Taylor Xing
I think
the
it's probably one of the
Corvette
better
curves,
cars on the grid.
entering the Corvette curves, rather, as he enters the Ford chicane now. He's got a Le Mans prototype right behind him. That looks like Fish Racing right behind him. So he'll have to let
Yeah,
that.
it looks like we're going to see both of these guys set a lap here.
Yep, Dado into 8th.
Yeah, Dado goes P8 and Fish Racing. Oh, that was a bit wild.
Gee, that was very close between the two. Bit of miscommunication from Fish Racing and Dado Racer.
Two drivers both on quite aggressive lines there, trying to be quick then, and didn't end very well.
Yeah. So Fish Racing up into 2nd place now. He's put into the pits now. Still 3 seconds off uncrewed Squid, so bit of time yet to be found. As we see Gear 3 Gaming approaching the Ford chicanes now. Still yet to set a lap time. It'll be interesting to see if he's done a clean lap to date. A bit wide through that chicane, went a bit deeper than he would have wanted. Across the line he goes, and it's a 4:02.2, and he'll go in last place. As Lloyd has actually improved his time.
Sorry
there,
there, folks.
3:56.1, and straight into the pit box to get a fresh set of boots and a bit more fuel, and we'll go for another run.
Speaking of fresh boots, I think Fish Racing's just come out of the pit lane there.
Yep. Yeah, he pretty much pulled into the pits straight after his last lap, and has come out behind the Corvette, which he shouldn't blow past down this first section of the Heures. Look at that. That's the biggest difference in these cars. It's just that hybrid power that these Le Mans prototypes have. They can get up to about, well, they'll get to about 320, 325 down this first straight before they brake for the first chicane.
I think that was at 330 there, Jake.
So burning, using a lot. Alright, so that Audi's either using a lot more the hybrid power, or it's got a much stronger engine than the Porsche that I've been driving. I'm only getting about 320.
Possibly could have lower aero too.
Thinking the dry, if you're running aero, you're silly. To the second chicane goes Fish. Can be.
We'll just jump onto our current pole sitter at the moment.
As he's approaching
Sorry, what were you
Indianapolis. I was just going to say the second chicane can be easy to muck up if you ride the curbs a bit too much. This Taipan's now gone to third place. He's done a 3:29.3. And that's Woody Lizard up ahead of him, so...
He's just improved. I told you they gained a few seconds on their second fly. He's just put in a 57.8.
Yep, so...
I think Highlander there has also improved his lap.
Oh, Woody's lost it!
Down goes Woody.
That was close. That would have got the heart rate up on Taipan Samurai.
Both drivers.
I think they'll be back to the pits for Woody.
We may just see Woody Lizard jump back to the pit lane here.
Yeah, I reckon Squid's
just
probably
keep an eye on
close
it,
to finishing his,
see what's going on.
Finishing his lap.
Oh, he's got the GT in front of him of Dado. This could hamper his efforts. He's flashing.
He's flashing, but Dado's also on a lap, so... Well, he was also on a lap, so...
Oh, maybe, I think Dado might have just come out of the pit lane, so he's done the right thing there.
That would have cost Squid some time, though. And yeah, he has not improved.
Yeah, Dado Racing hasn't improved either there.
Yeah, not surprising there.
We're just trying to see who's about to finish their lap. There's a driver right towards the finish of the... There we go. Fish Racing, he's about to set a lap.
He is starting the lap or finishing his warm-up lap?
Actually might be a warm-up lap.
Maybe we could jump on board for this lap for Fish Racing.
That's
It'll take you through the entirety of this 13k circuit, through the Dunlop chicane and under the Dunlop bridge. And through the S's. This is actually surprisingly understeer prone through these S's with the low aero. The car just wants to go straight on. Through Turtle Rouge goes Fish Racing. Of course, the Audi only has 6 gears compared to the Porsche and the Toyota, which both have 7, so it's going to take time to get used to Fish running in a lower gear than what I would run. As we head into the first chicane, drops it down
a
into
lot
third
deeper than the
gear
GTEs at brake there.
Yeah. Superior in every way are the prototypes compared to the GTEs, as you would expect. Down this second blast of the Heures, uses a bit more of that hybrid power. He'll get up to a bit over 321. Brake. Oh, he's lifted off there. So he's not actually braking hard for those chicanes. So, but still, he's trying to flow the car through down this final stretch towards the Mulsanne corner. And this braking zone up here is really tough as you come over that crest and then you've got to turn and brake. Run it wide almost outside the track limits and cut it back. And as now we'll blast down towards Indianapolis, one of the fastest corners on this track.
My favourite corner on the track.
As he's approaching the GT car, that's sort of, oh, that's Dado again. I would have kept it on that left hand side.
He would have got a nice slipstream actually there.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually.
And he did. He got up to about 335.
Yeah, you had to back it off through Indianapolis under your own steam. You can take that a little flat out before you hit the brakes. So Fisher's taking it easy. Oh, run it a bit wide there. A bit wide through Arnage. But now another burst of the hybrid power as we head down towards the start of the Porsche curves. Some of the most fun corners on the entire circuit. These cars have a lot of grip through here. Of course, this section of the track has changed a little bit now. A bit more runoff than what there used to be. Into the Corvette curves now. And now we blast down towards the start line. As we pass the pit entry and into the braking zone for the Ford chicane. Just left, right, similar to what the first chicane at Monza used to be. Bit skittish, but across the line goes Fish, and don't know what time. Improved? Okay, well, would have loved to have seen that pop up on the screen.
There you go.
So 20.6 for Fish. There's probably a bit more time in that if you can brake just a little bit deeper and harder for those chicanes. I reckon would be a good second or two in that. Alright. I just got a notification saying Squid just set a fastest lap, even though we're on board with him down the Heures.
I think that might have been prior to, while we're on board with Fish Racing there, he set a fastest lap.
And he's flashing, he's approaching the GTE. As the GTE approaches that second chicane, oh, that's gone slowly, that's one of the Corvettes. Corvette is speed
racer there. I think Squid might have backed off there, maybe.
I'll be interested to see. He was flashing those lights.
In a minute when he gets up to that second. Yep, no, he's backed out of it.
Yep, got caught out by the dirty air.
Jump with Freight Trainer here. Looks like he's coming towards the end of the lap there.
Yeah, coming to Arnage now. Isn't quite as much road as some of the other prototype runners, but actually closely following Taipan in the number 2 Porsche. He's actually been whipping away at that time. He's down to a 3:27 now, having started the session doing 3:30 31s.
It looks like he's about to cross the line here.
I can hear that buzzing on the limiter, so maybe not.
I wonder if that might be an audio glitch there though, because sometimes it can come through a bit unusual there.
Yeah, that is true. It did sound like he was buzzing on the limiter, and I haven't heard that from the other cars thus far. Freight Trainer now. Oh, a bit squirmy exiting the Ford chicane. And he actually improved by over 4 seconds. Into the 3:26s now. Here's Emu. He's struggled in this session. Still done a 3:36, which I reckon he did at the start of the session. So he's struggled with lap invalidations, I reckon.
Yeah, I've had a few of those pop up in the bottom corner with him invalidating laps there, so I wonder if that's just all he's been struggling with there.
Actually 2 seconds off.
He wasn't quite as quick on that lap.
On board with Highlander.
Back to the GTE category here for quickly with Highlander. He's coming towards the end of the lap through the Corvette curves.
Gee, a bit of 4-wheel drifting there through the Corvette curve there.
That's just the low downforce of the GTE cars. Every single one of them drifts through there.
Yeah, it's
You
fun to
gotta
watch.
really hug the apex through there, or you're gonna be right out wide. It would not surprise me if this lap is invalidated as well for that. Yeah, that was invalidated actually. Just check out Lloydie here. He's just done a 3:55.6 in the Aston Martin there.
Yeah, so so if there are any newcomers that are watching the stream at the moment, we are AUSNZ Combined Racing League. You can find us at aus-nzcrl at weebly.com. That is AUS-WEEBL. No, sorry. AUS-nzcrl.weebly.com. You can find us there. If you're interested in competing in our Project Cars 2 championships, only for Australian and New Zealanders, mind you. Just more for ping reasons than anything else. But these guys are some of the fastest drivers in our region. So if you like a challenge, that's where you go to find the best racing in all of Oceania.
We got Squid here about to start a lap.
Yeah, 1 minute 20 seconds to go, so I reckon he's going to be able to do one more lap after this. Squid actually did a 17.7 on that previous lap. So he's getting close. He's getting close to
the drivers in the pit lane now. That is it.
Yep. So he hasn't improved.
As he starts his flying lap there. We got Taipan here, possibly finishing a flying lap. We'll see where he ends up.
Well, he improves.
And improves.
That's him done.
And rests on his laurels there. Look, someone else has just dived into the pit lane. I think that might have been Highlander.
And Squid has as well. So Squid's not doing the final lap. Just for reference, that 17.7 that Squid has done is half a second slower than the lap record here at the Circuit de la Sarthe, set just last week in the real life 24-hour event. It was set by Mike Conway in the Toyota Gazoo Racing LMP1 car.
So I just think Emu's about to improve here. Last split he came through, he was about 2.5 seconds up on his lap time. So we'll see how he goes here, improving.
Yeah, could put him in, could get him up into 3rd place if he nails it. Oh, did he cut that corner? Across the line he goes.
And he improved by about 2 seconds there. Onto the GTE pole here, and we've got Speed Racer who's been rather quick, so we'll see how he's going to travel here when he comes through the next split.
Yeah, again.
Which I think will be the finish line.
4-wheel drifting again in the Corvette through the Corvette curve. I thought it was an American car, not a Japanese one. But into the final section of the forward chicanes, and as he blasts down the line, might be the last car to set a lap.
Blistering lap.
First
goes to pole there.
Yeah, and what's that? Just a 10th in it, so really close in the GTE class so thus far. Dado, last car out on track, yet to set a lap time. Sitting in 10th place at the moment.
He's just sitting in 10th there. He'll be looking to knock Woody off there. The next car up in line, possibly even try and get onto Highlander there.
Or even just try and go for pole. Or squirming through the Corvette curve.
Whoa.
Right on the edge is Dado Racer as he approaches the end of the lap. He's gone all or nothing, or has he backed out? He's backed out of it.
Nah, I think he got an invalidation then through the Corvette curve.
Yeah, I thought he ran a little bit wide there, and so that is going to be it.
He'll be rather disappointed with himself there.
He's just doing a practice pit stop now.
And I do not blame him. It's going to be very interesting to Session 2 and 3 are going to be quite interesting with the pit stops.
Yeah, so that is it for qualifying. In the prototype class, it's going to be Squid on pole. Sorry, my pedals are played up. Squid on pole with Fish in second, Taipan third, with Freight Trainer sitting in fourth, and Emu bringing up the rear in the prototype class in fifth place. We'll move to the GTE class with Speed Racer 1/10 clear of Lloyd, set a ripper of a lap. Highlander not too far back in third, with Woody Lizard fourth, Data
Highlander will
Racer
gain second place though.
in fifth, and Gear 3 Gaming is in sixth place. So that GTE class is looking very close, and we should see some good racing
Once the
this session.
penalties are applied though, Shadow, once the penalties are applied, Highlander will gain second and Gear will gain 10th.
So a few speeding penalties in that session for a couple of the drivers. So just waiting to progress through this screen. Got to wait for the host to move us forward. But really looking forward to this race. It's going to be a challenge, as you're about to see. It is raining, and it's not drizzle. It is proper rain. So this is going to provide a bit of a challenge for these drivers who have just done qualifying in the dry session, or in the dry rather, and now they've got to put those on and change their approach slightly, because it can get unstuck very easily.
We'll just do a quick spotters guide for everyone. So we've got Uncrewed Squid in the number 6 Toyota there. Fish Racing in the number 8 Audi. Taipan in the number 1 Porsche. Freight Trainer. Sorry, I think they're both in the same Porsche there. I think that might be a bit of an error there.
No, that's a number 1.
Who was supposed to be in the number 2?
Taipan is supposed to be in the number 2.
Oh, there we go. That might won't matter too much, but there you go. For future sessions, Taipan and Sato will be in the number 2. We got E number 5 Racing in the number 4 Corvette. Highlander in the I can't quite make that out. I might have to just switch to. He's in the GT there. We might have to get that one during the race at some point for you. Lloydie in the number 37 Aston Martin. Woody in the number 91 Porsche. Gear 3 Gaming in the number 64 Corvette. And Data Racing in the number 9 Ford.
Yep. So the drivers just setting their cars up now. It's a massive setup change compared to qualifying. And now we're off for the formation lap. Very long formation lap.
See the spray coming up there?
Yeah. So it's already starting to get quite wet. Of course, the track usually, in these sessions, they usually start off dry. It's just the quirk in the game. But as we'll see throughout this formation lap and in the first couple of laps of this race, a lot of puddles are going to start to form. It's going to prove difficult for these drivers to be able to tame these monsters.
Interesting there to see that I wonder if that's just the fuel tank capacity, but Fish Racing running with a lot less fuel than the other prototypes there.
Yeah, I know the Porsche has a 63 litre tank, but I also know that the Audi, because it's run by, it has diesel power and not the normal petrol power of the Toyota and the Porsche. I reckon that's why they can get away with running a lighter fuel tank.
And the GTEs here, most of the cars have got a 90 to 95 litre tank. The Corvette's there. The Fords as well with about the same fuel. The Aston Martin there's got about 95 there. The Porsche I know has about 95 litres in it. The Corvette and the Ford as well with about 90 in them.
Cars are just cruising down the Heures. Of course, the leader has to keep below 120 kilometers per hour to avoid getting any sort of penalty. Of course, the game penalises you for going too fast in the formation lap. Probably like to see that speed higher so we can get this race started quickly.
Yeah, it would be nice, but unfortunately, rules are rules.
through the first chicane. Uncrew Squid has struggled as of late in these special events. He has not won a single special event, but he's teamed up with the man who has won every single special event for ANZCRL this year. Shads has taken spoils in the Daytona 24-hour, the Daytona 500, the Imola 4-hour, and the Indianapolis 500. So this will be the pairing to watch. Though Shad's only able to do the one session, he'll be doing the second session, which will be streamed on Woody Lizard's Mixer channel. So if you go to mixer.com/Woody Lizard, that is mixer.com/WOODYLIZARD. If you go to that page there, you will find the stream for the second session of this 24 hours of Le Mans, which the second session will be underway at 7:10 Australian Eastern Standard Time, or in 4 hours from now.
I think you'll be able to see both myself and Jake running in that session as well.
Still unsure whether I'll be driving in that second session. That will depend on how Taipan feels in this session.
So as we sort of wait for the formation lap to end, just thought I'd let the folks at home know a little interesting fact about myself and Sato here. For most of the time in the past that we've raced together, 9 times out of 10 we actually pair up and team up. This is only the second event in the ANZCRL history that myself and Sato have not teamed up.
Yeah, we do like partnering up. Maybe to our detriment, as the results have never been good. But
yes, I think a lot of the drivers out there seem to call it out. We're a little bit cursed.
But tell you what, Squid and Shads always seem to team up together. That pairing, almost every single championship that has teammates involved, that pairing has been together. Saw it at the V8 Supercar Tour late last year. And we saw it in the IndyCar series. So, of course, Squid and Shads have been the two form drivers this year in our regular championships. Usually running first.
Shads took out the IndyCar series, I do believe.
No, that was Uncrewed Squid that won the IndyCar series.
No, Squid took it out.
Shads did win the special event at the Indy 500. But just had a few fuel issues in the first couple
I've just remembered that Shads also took out the Bathurst 12-hour as another special event there.
If you can count that as such. In the Intercontinental
I think it's a pretty big event in Australian motorsport.
Yeah, that's currently on now, so next week. So I've been broadcasting the Intercontinental GT Championship the last 3 weeks, or at least one session of it anyway. So it's usually myself and Woody Lizard that are doing the broadcasting for our events as of late. So if you make sure you follow me here on Twitch or on Woody Lizard's Mixer channel, you will find every stream live and exclusive. For our championships. 2 rounds to go with the Intercontinental GT Challenge. The next round next week will be at the Sakito circuit, or the Suzuka knockoff. And then the final round will be at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. So it should be fun to watch. But here at the 24 hours of Le Mans, through the Porsche curves, the drivers are going. We're almost ready to start.
So they're starting to warm the tyres up, so coming through Corvette curves. We'll just watch the front of the pack now, because everyone's starting to get serious. Headlights are coming on, tyres being warmed, brakes are being warmed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started. The ANZCRL annual 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yep. Dominated won it last year. Who's going to win it this year? The lights are gone green. We've got to wait for the drivers to reach the start line to begin. It's up to Squid, and he's gone. We're away. And Squid's got the jump over Fish. There's a battle between the Porsches into the Dunlop curve and into the Dunlop chicane. Oh, it looked like one of the prototypes ran wide at the Dunlop chicane. But it's looking a bit scrappy.
Woody was in Dado Gear 3 Gaming there.
Yeah, they're having a bit of early fighting as the drivers jostle for position. Very slippery conditions at the moment, and Fish Racing still on the back of Uncrewed Squid as we head down the Heures for the first time at race pace. And look at the spray coming up off of those prototypes. Yeah, it makes it very difficult to see.
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult to see behind them. That's why you need the rain lights.
The slipstream is really strong though.
Yeah.
Fish Racing nearly pulls onto the back of Squid there.
Of course,
sort of see the GTE field as they come through.
Yep. Of course, these drivers have been very courteous and have turned the lights on. Just aids in the visibility as the cars are punching through the water. And with the amount of spray coming up on the back. Oh, Woody very late under brakes, and he's gone straight on at the second chicane.
He's that. Ooh,
and same with Gear 3 Gaming.
Ford there. Contact between the Ford and Lloyd there.
Maybe just light contact because they're still going. It looks like a massive scrap for third place between Highlander, Gear 3 Gaming, and I guess Lloyd's in there as well. Two abreast.
3 wide.
I think that's Gear 3 Gaming going down the inside of Colonel Lloyd.
And Dado's going to stick it around the outside, which turns to the inside of the next one.
Oh, Dado's run wide.
Or not quite. I think there might have been contact
might have hit the bollard too. That could cause some aero damage for Dado Racer. And a bit exciting start to this race. These GTE drivers don't want to give an inch. A lot of water. You can see the puddles there on the right hand side of the road just starting to form already. So in a few minutes time it's going to become very treacherous for these drivers.
Very interesting corner this one, sorry. In the GTEs there's about 4 or 5 different lines through that corner, and it depends on the conditions and how the car's handling at the time.
Yeah, there's a bit of a puddle that forms at that Mulsanne corner. If you can catch it at the wrong place, it can cost you a lot of time as you have no control. We're heading towards Indianapolis now. Lloyd got ahead of Gear 3 Gaming. And Lloyd will now be looking to
looks like
hunt
Lloyd
down
is reeling in Highlander there as well.
Yeah. Well, a bit wide for Gear there.
Run wide there.
Yeah. Into Arnage we go. Dado close behind Gear. Gear is really struggling in these conditions. And he could lose that place to Dado very shortly if he can't get to grips with that car quick enough.
Just jump on the roof, Cam, with Dado Racing here, and we'll see how he goes up through to the Porsche curve. Should be an awesome footage to see if he goes well through the Porsche curves.
Of course, not a passing spot here, unless you're in the prototype and you're passing in the GTE. They've got to just hang on through this section. In the wet, it's very, very treacherous. And very wide goes a Gear, probably a bit too much throttle in there. There's a puddle at this corner too. It's
he's
already
wide
forming.
again there. He'll get a slowdown for that one.
The cars have really struggled through the Corvette curve there as that puddle gets bigger and bigger. So Dado's showing his nose a little bit on Gear 3 Game, just putting Gear under a lot of pressure, and Gear looks like he's cracking. Not the best run through the Ford chicane, and Dado's got to run here. He's going to pull alongside to start lap 2. Down the inside goes Dado as they approach the Dunlop curve, and he gets that move done. Now will Gear 3
We'll
Gaming
just see if
dive it
Gear
down
throws
the
it back up the
inside?
inside, or
Nope. Dado has
Dado
defended
goes
the
defensive
position.
first.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at prototypes here. We've got
Taipan's made the move on
Freight
Freight
Trainer and
Trainer.
Taipan there.
Taipan's actually turned the lights off, so that's actually gonna make life difficult for Freight Trainer because he won't be able to see that number 2 Porsche. Look at Squid and Fish Racing have already taken off, and already got a 14-second gap on Taipan Samurai. That shows the pace difference of the 3 drivers at the moment. As Freight Train is actually looking to get third place back from Taipan into Mulsanne we go, and Freight Train probably taking a little easier than certainly I would have.
This section of track, because of the way the sun sets, is actually quite dry. So, as you can see there, Taipan moving it to the right-hand side there, just to cool the tires off so that they don't get too hot running in the drier track.
I don't think the tire temperatures have been much of an issue compared to based on how wet and how long the Heures are. Taipan wide. I thought Freight was going to have a look up there, but Taipan just was able to carry just enough speed to hold off Freight Trainer as they exit Arnage and head towards the Porsche curves for the second time at race pace. It's looking like a juicy battle between these Porsche drivers.
I just update the GTE field. I think Gear 3 Gaming has actually snuck back past Dado Racing there. All these guys struggle through the dirty air there. We'll just have a quick look. Yeah. Must have been a mistake there somewhere from Dado Racing. Or he might have aero damage, which is hurting his straight line speed down the Heures.
Probably wouldn't have affected him too much. You only have 1 or 2 damage on the front. I think that was more of a mistake, which is easy to make in these treacherous conditions. But Dado will probably be seeing red.
Because
in fact, seeing red is Colonel
speaking
Lloyd,
of seeing red,
back of the back of that Ford is bright red. And towards the Porsche curves now. Lloyd has been one of the form drivers so far. He's been very quick in practice and was quick in qualifying. If not for that grip penalty, he would have started this session in 2nd place, I would say.
yes, he would have started in 2nd place.
Yeah. So he's got that Aston Martin really singing. Of course, this battle here that's starting to brew is going to help Speed Racer get away here and build a nice gap in that Corvette.
Having said that, though, he hasn't pulled away as much as I would have thought he would with all of the fighting going on. So it could be quite interesting come sort of middle to the end of the stint.
Oh, that's close for Lloyd.
Positions sort of settle them up.
Lloyd was a lot late on the brakes than Highlander. And struggling to see behind that Ford is Colonel Lloyd. He's got to hope that straight line speed in that Aston Martin is more than that of the Ford, so he can get past down the Heures. At the moment, he looks like he's struggling in the corners, being unable to see.
Yeah, cutting a few corners, missing a few apexes. It must be very hard in the cockpit of those cars to try and see. In fact, we can tell you right now, folks, everyone at home, we'll just jump in the cockpit.
Yeah, one of the
And
helmet cams we have.
Pretty much.
Oh, Lloyd's lost it!
Yeah. Oh!
And you see the reset button, and he's
jump on board as he...
it's cost him a lot of time. He's still in third place though, Lloyd, so still hanging in there.
As we look at fourth, the battle for fourth place at
Well,
the
that's
moment.
wide. That's going to be slow down.
It's heating up
Gears
again.
Gaming. So Data's going to close right up, maybe. Oh, that's a nice shot from our helicopter as they head towards that first chicane. And look, I reckon Data's going to make a move here.
Pulls
He's
it
pulled
out.
alongside. So that Corvette doesn't have a lot of straight line speed. That Ford's got plenty of it. And he's made it pretty...
Big
Oh, that's a
V8.
slow
Ooh, and
Aston
Lloyd's
Martin.
gone again.
And Dado went straight on.
And Dado's had to cut the chicane there. He'll have to give that position back up there.
Don't know, but... Yeah. Triple was put in the chat, commentator's curse. It certainly was. As soon as we activate a helmet cam for the first time this race.
Send Lloydie in a spin, and he's done it again, unfortunately. It gives us a nice juicy battle for the position 3 here now.
Yeah, can Lloyd gather up that car? So in all this kerfuffle, Woody Liz is now starting to creep up behind these guys as well.
He's some pretty good lap times, Woody there. He's doing 4:22s. Compared to the drivers in front, he's definitely gaining some speed on them.
Yeah. But they...
As we quickly jump back to the front here, because it looks like these two have tightened back up again.
I don't think they've really left. This is going to be a great battle in
It
house
grew
for
out
the
to about 3
Porsches.
seconds at one point, but it's back down to 1.5 seconds and closing.
Oh, I think Gear 3 Gaming just lost the position to Dado Racer.
I think that happened before we jumped off cam there.
Yeah, I thought I saw some movement in the standings as well. I was wondering if we'd missed something. Oh, that's way...
Ooh, very wide.
Oh, no!
And they're gone. That was a good call from you there, Sato.
Oh,
Jump on
no.
board.
That's massive damage to both the Corvette of Gear 3 Gaming and the Ford of
Now it
Dado
looks like
Racer.
a bit more of a road car than a GTE car there.
Yeah. So now Gear 3 Gaming's got to take it very easy to bring it back into the pits. That's not what these guys
Dado will
wanted.
have a lot of suspension damage there, though. He hit the wall fairly hard when he bounced it off gear.
Yeah,
You can see the car moving left and right down the straight.
yeah.
What a shame for them too.
Poor Gear just ran a little deep into Indianapolis, and as soon as he went out wide, just lost all traction and just spun him straight into Dado Racer. Nothing he could have done there. It's just,
Interesting to watch Gear 3 here, because with no rear wing, that car will not want to stick around here.
Yeah, in fact, Dado's closing at a rate to knots.
Yeah,
Gear, he's really struggling. I thought he's gone straight to the fence there again.
yeah. Just going to make sure they both get back to the pits with that drama here. We're just... I think they'll make it back now. He's passed all the corners.
Yeah. Into the pit lane chicane. Dado's actually
Oh,
staying
looks
on,
like-
so he must not have as much
He
damage.
might not have
what
got
we
as
thought.
much damage as we thought.
Maybe just a busted headlight and a slight bit of aero damage.
We move back to the LMP1 battle, sorry.
Yeah.
This is tightened back up again. It's less than a second now.
Yeah, Freight Trainer was faster on the previous lap than Taipan. So Taipan's maybe struggling a little bit in these wet conditions.
And I don't really blame him. I think all the drivers have not quite been as comfortable as they would have liked in the wet conditions.
Except for maybe Young Creed Squid, he's doing 3-minute 30s at the moment.
Oh. And then in the GTEs, you got Speed Racer there going very quickly as well.
Yeah, 450.
Oh, bit wide there from Freight Trainer.
Yeah, he struggled through the Porsche curves this lap. Through the puddle.
He's probably got
It's
a bit
not
too
affecting
close
him
there. Probably got the dirty air.
Yeah, That'll be a big factor, especially I know that number 2 Porsche Taycan will be running at least one aero on the front just to help it get pointed in these wet conditions. Across the line, and Taycan was actually quicker that lap.
I do believe these two drivers have actually been conferring on car setups, so they're going to be very, very close cars in terms of the way that they handle and drive.
Absolutely.
Almost driving the same car.
That's what you do when your teammates try and drag yourselves up, but it looks like the setup work that these guys are doing have actually brought them back down and are running their own race at this stage.
I believe we might start to see some lapping GCE cars soon with Gear 3 Gaming pitting there.
Yep, there's that's
as
actually,
you can see right up ahead there.
I don't think that's Gear 3 Gaming. That looks more like Dado Racer up ahead.
Could possibly be, actually. You might be right there. Yeah, Gear 3 Gaming, as we look back there down the Heures. I think that was him back there somewhere.
Yep, so there's Squid flashing the lights. Oh dear, is Dado gonna move out the way? No! That's...
It was a bit closer than they would have liked there.
Wouldn't want to be doing
Dado
that.
still has his rain light on there, so Squid would have been able to see, but very tight.
That certainly would have got the blood pressure up in the cockpit of uncrewed Squid. He won't want that to happen again. As there's fish racing.
Fish racing about to come up to the Ailing Dado racing there.
Yep. And fish racing a much easier time getting through than what Squid had.
And has actually gained a few seconds on Squid there as well. He's brought the gap back to about 6 seconds where it was about 8 there.
Yeah, traffic is going to play a major part in this race. And if the L&P cars are not careful, it could bring them unstuck. Lloyd sitting in 3rd place in the GTE
looks like Lloyd,
class.
He hasn't really caught Highlander as quickly as he did last time, and Woody Lizard's been holding on to the back of him.
Just a little bit. Oh, he spun it.
And he's round again.
He's using that reset button.
And there's Squid in the background. This could get ugly.
Oh, no, that was well driven by Lloyd there. Just to keep it off the track and wait until Squid got through. So that's Woody Lizard now into 3rd place. So it's a bit like the
Woody of 4:19.
Yeah. So it's a bit like the tortoise and the hare at the moment in this race. Lloyd has been very quick, whereas Woody's just putted around doing slow, consistent laps, and the consistencies are working in Woody's favour in this early stage.
I wouldn't say he's too slow there. He's done about the same lap, almost the same lap as Highlander there, as we see Dado Racing's just about given up with that car at the moment. He's come into the pit lane.
Could even put a bit of splash and dash of fuel into that car as well. Fuel for the GTEs will run a little tight in this session. Yep, the fuel hose goes in.
Yeah, he's putting a little bit of fuel in there.
And it looks like that was it.
And it looks like Gear will jump in here.
I don't think Dado repaired his car.
Oh, he's got headlights back. He's definitely repaired it a little bit, but I don't. He might not have had much damage though. That's the thing. We just don't know.
Lucky. There's Gear 3 Gaming again struggling through the Dunlop chicane. He's having a tough time with this race so far. He'll be happy when the session's over by the looks of it. He'll be sick of it and won't want to see rain ever again.
Looks like Freight Trainer might have just fallen off the back of Taipan there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Starting to struggle Freight. He's got to do 4 sessions, so maybe just conserving himself to go balls out in the final session tomorrow afternoon.
as we jump on board with the GTE class leader at the moment. And as typical to Le Mans, the back half of the circuit's dry. This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Not seeing any spray at all
90%
up there.
As we start to head towards Indy, there's the sprays coming back up again there.
Yeah.
So we've got a bit of a typical Le Mans circuit here. Most of the track's wet, but we've just got that little straight that might just be overheating the tyres a little bit there. A lot of cars will be coming into Indy and just struggling a bit.
I don't think it'll be overheating the tyres though, Lockie, as there's no corners where it's dry. So
Good point, actually, yeah.
tyres don't heat up unless you put some lateral load in them. Usually, you can get some longitudinal load into the tyres. As that's probably Squid there, just flashing the lights for Squid to just let the speed to let Squid through, and he's done that safely. All wide for both GTE cars there.
It doesn't hurt you massively to run a little bit wide there. Maybe a tenth or two in the GTE cars. I know it does affect them a lot more in the LMP cars.
I reckon Lloyd's still struggling a little bit. Ran wide at Arnage as well.
Yeah, I think Lloyd's definitely struggling, but I think that might have been a planned line from Woody Lizard there.
Heading to the Porsche curves, Lloyd still sticking to the back of Woody Lizard there. So even though he's struggling, he's not out of it yet.
Definitely still got the pace, there's no doubt about that. As Woody runs a little bit wide there.
Now it looks like Fish Racing's catching Squid, but it's often hard to see. It's often hard to tell with these time deltas because they keep fluctuating.
I think he's definitely catching him. Have a look at the last lap times.
2 seconds faster for Fish Racing on the previous lap. There's the Porsches coming up to this GTE battle.
Yeah, this is really interesting when the LMPs have to overtake a battling set of GTE cars. It can get quite messy sometimes. Woody sets another good 419, and Lloydie clearly a little bit faster there with a 418.5.
Oh, look at the closing speed that the prototypes have. And there goes Taipan. Lloyd's just let him through quite easily. Bet he's lost a bit of time.
Tight there.
Taipan's in a hurry.
And Woody not as generous as Colonel Lloyd there when letting the LMPs pass.
It's
I
hard
think
to let
more of the idea that there's a straight coming up, you might have to wait for me.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
Very hard to pass through the essence there. Surprised Taipan actually made the move, or tried to lap the cars through there. But I can see Taipan's point of view, he wants to start gapping Freight Trainer. They both seem to be of a similar pace to each other, so the more advantage he can get, the better off for his race, in his opinion. Of course, we do have compression formulas.
But I think Lloydie definitely lost a little bit of time there. He's caught it back up again under brakes here.
Yeah. Of course, we do have a compression formula for this race, where after each session, the field will get compressed back down. So drivers, for whatever reason, fall a lap down behind the leader, they'll either get a couple of laps back, and what it does, it just provides better racing in the following sessions, so we don't just have cars on their own for the entire sessions. Look at that, Lloyd getting very close to the back of Woody Lizard. If the slipstream is good, he could make a move into Mulsanne.
I would not surprise me if Woody just sort of drops off the throttle into Mulsanne just to let him go, because he knows that Lloydie's definitely a lot faster, but prone to mistakes, as he's shown already so far.
Yeah, close they are. As they approach Mulsanne, is he going to make a move? No, he's going to hold firm. Oh, that's a bit... Wow.
Very difficult corner to overtake, actually, that, surprisingly.
Especially in the wet.
Because of the way that we're braking around the corner.
but also that puddle too on the inside that will be forming as we speak. At the end of this race, it's going to be quite difficult to get through there in single file, let alone side by side.
Lloyd closes in with a slipstream here into Indianapolis.
Back that a little bit there, Lloyd, just to do a bit safe. Woody's run a little wide there. So that could have hurt
I think
him.
that might be his line. He's trying to get the slingshot off the exit, and it's worked actually.
I doubt that very much, Lockie. I reckon that's trying to carry a bit too much speed to try and keep Lloyd behind. You lose half a second easy just by doing that. You may reckon, oh, you could get a good exit, but the good exit won't make up for that time loss by missing that apex. Through the Porsche curves we go.
I think Taipan might have made a bit of a mistake there, because Freight Trainer's right on the back of him again.
Yeah, it seems to be toing and throwing for the Porsches at the moment. 1 second the number 2 Porsche is quicker, and then the next it's the number 1 Porsche is quicker. Number 2, even though that says number 1 on the side, the Porsche Taycan is actually the number 2 Porsche, with the number 1 Porsche being the one behind, being driven by Freight Trainer. That was very close to the back of that GTE by Taipan. I want to say that would be Speed Racing.
Oh, Freight Trainer ran very wide there, sorry.
Yeah, very wide at Turret Rouge for Freight Trainer. I think he misjudged the pace that he had compared to speed, and just took to the escape road, or the runoff rather, just to avoid any sort of damage occurring.
Looks like Woody's just struggling a bit in the dirty air, and it's just causing him to not quite have the gap to pass Woody on the straight there.
Yeah, both these cars are actually struggling in these soggy conditions. Through Turret Rouge, they go. Can be quite peaceful actually down these areas.
Woody just seems to be a bit off the pace, whereas Lloyd's just a bit inconsistent in these conditions. Both struggling, just in their own different ways there.
Yeah, in fact, Highlandy also, you could say, is struggling a little bit. He's only half a second quicker than these guys. Speed Race is just running
just
away.
Hasn't had the incidents. Looks like Addo's getting up to the back of Gear 3 Gaming here.
Yeah, this battle will be vicious.
Definitely will.
Well, they failed with
possibly
Gear 3
a bit
Gaming.
of red mist there involved.
Yeah, although you wouldn't want to see these two tangle again. I know because that first incident they had was very accidental. But I wonder.
Oh, it was accidental.
Oh
but,
no!
Oh no!
That is a bummer for
I think
that.
I've cursed him again. I need to stop talking.
Get out of here, Lockie.
I'm sorry.
That is in the wall for the second time this race. Hopefully not too much damage on
And
it.
he just set a 417 as well. He was flying.
Yes.
Possibly pushing a little bit too hard though.
Yeah. It's so easy to do here. And it can come completely out of the blue. You could be fine one second, and then you can just find a puddle at the wrong point and it just loops the thing.
Ooh.
Lloyd very close now to Woody.
These two are a lot closer this time round.
Yeah. Will Lloyd be having a look into Indianapolis? It'll be a tough ask. No, he's backed out of it.
Woody might have the straight line speed here.
That's very interesting, because that in the speed traps in practice, that Aston Martin was very quick. And we saw early in the race in the slipstream how quick that Aston Martin was. Oh gee, that
I wonder
Aston
if
Martin was
he
right on the
possibly
edge.
just backed out of it then.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. Just play it smart. There's no need to get in a tangle with 3.5 hours left in this race. in real time.
And that's why Freight Trainer's just passed Taipan, sorry.
Taipan's in the pits. So Taipan going for an early pit stop, so this could be the only stop we see this Porsche make. In fact, it will be the only stop this Porsche makes unless he puts it in the wall, which, touch wood, I hope he doesn't. Yeah, it's a short pit stop. Is that 40?
About 47 litres in there.
Yep, so should be able to get to the end quite comfortably. He actually comes out behind Emu, so he's the first prototype to make the pit stop. We'll see if Freight Trainer blinks next time by.
And Lloydie's got past Woody there. Unfortunately, we missed that while we were watching the LMP pit stops there, but it was only a matter of time. Unfortunately, for Woody's sake, he's just not quite got the pace of Lloydie at the moment.
So we've got AJ joining the chat now. Unfortunately, he couldn't be a part of this event. A bit too busy in his life. So thank you for tuning in there, AJ, and hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Woody, listen now.
Congratulations, by the way, on the championship last night, AJ. Well deserved.
Yep, winning the Motorsport Racing League GT3 Championship. But now that Lloyd's past Woody here. Oh no, that's a spin behind. Oh, that was a Toyota.
Oh, that might.
That's a Toyota VMU.
I think that was Demu there.
Yep.
I panicked then. I thought it might have been our leader. You don't like to see anyone spin, but would have been definitely interesting if it was the leader unscrewed Squid there.
Hmm. Yeah, Squid's actually driven a very good race thus far. He's got a 5-second gap on Fish, which he's held for the entire session. Fish is also driving very well.
It's sort of fluctuated between about 3 and 8 seconds though, so
yeah, they're both driving very well.
Fish is definitely not letting him go.
That Audi has been very
Dado's
quick in
made
practice.
It back to the pit lane.
Dado coming in for repairs. That thing looks busted.
That car's crab walking there. Unfortunately, I think that might be a very broken Ford GT.
Yeah. New bumper. That was a very quick
It
pit
might have
stop,
only
so
broken the bumper off.
yeah. So just a change of front.
If it was only the front end damage, yeah.
Yeah. So front wing change, which these both the prototypes and the GTEs can do quite quickly here at Le Mans. They build the cars specifically so that they can make fast changes. So it's coming very handy in this session for Dado, and it ensures that he stays on the lead lap.
That leader, who's just lost more time to Fish that might have been caught up with the lapped car.
What's the car behind them? That's Fish. He's turned his headlights off as well. So is he trying to sneak up to the back of Squid?
Could be an interesting strategy there. He's definitely closing in. It's fallen down to about 4 seconds this time round.
Yeah, a bit hard to judge with the gaps though, because as I said, down the straights it can balloon out, but Fish definitely in shot.
I think you can see the gap there.
Yeah.
The diesel sounds a lot different, and you hear the engines
Yeah.
a lot more grumbly and groany.
Yep, the only car in the field that is running that diesel power, so all the others are using regular petrol. So of course the Audi actually runs less fuel than the other prototypes because it burns less fuel due to the lower rev range. Do you need Nicholas? He's holding firm about 4 seconds, 4 to 5 seconds the gap. It's a bit hard to judge.
Shall we go through the fuel loads? Just have a look to see who's
Yeah, we'll see.
close to a pit stop quickly.
So here's Squid with 16 litres. That's probably...
So you'll...
That'll be about 2 or 3 laps left in that tank before he has to make a pit stop. Fish with 8.4. Now, I heard that they were burning about 5 litres a lap, maybe. So that might actually be 1 lap. 1 lap and then you'll have to pit. You might even pit this lap.
Not quite got the distance on that car.
No, but remember
We'll
it
just
did
see if he
start
comes
with
in
like,
this lap.
it did start with 15 litres less. He continues on. So I'm interested to see how far he takes that fuel load. I don't quite know the fuel burn of the Audi though. I know it burns less than the others, but by how much I don't quite know. Freight trainer with 18 litres left in the tank. So that's also about 5 litres a lap fuel burn. I think the Porsche can actually do the most laps out of any of the prototypes. Most of the prototypes can do about 12 laps in a tank, whereas Freight Trainer can do 13 in the Porsche. Flashing the lights to make sure that
What makes it all the more interesting that his teammate came in early.
Just get clean air and try and undercut is what I reckon. That being said, Taiping was very slow on the previous lap.
I think that was his outlap.
Can't remember when he pitted, so well,
That was about 30-minute mark, so yeah, it would have been his outlap.
Not used to these long laps. We usually have shorter circuits. Has Emu now flash his lights to get past this GTE car with 19 litres left in the tank. So that's also about 3 laps. So a lot of these guys will have to pit with 10 minutes to go.
So onto the GTEs. Now these are burning around about 6.5 to 7 litres a lap. So what the specific fuel burn for the Corvettes, I'm not 100% sure about them and the Aston Martin, but I can tell you what the Ford and the Porsche are burning. I think the Ford was burning about 6.5 litres and the Porsche is burning around about 6 to 6.2 litres a lap, so a lot less than the others.
Yeah, so we just see if the Porsche can make it to the end. Brilliant.
With 30 litres left in this one, I'm tipping it'll be quite close for the Corvettes and the Fords. As we sort of go through the field. Highlander's got a little bit more fuel in the car left.
So he might be able to go to the
Ford
end.
Clearly a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more economical than the Corvette. Lloydie, again about the same fuel load. So these are going to be very close for a lot of these cars. And there you go, the Porsche, that will definitely make it to the end. It's still got 39 litres of fuel left. If Woody doesn't make it to the end, I don't think anyone will.
Tell you what, that flat 6 engine sounds so good.
Best car by far in terms of the sound.
Well, that
Look at
being
Gear
said,
3 Gaming, who has made a pit stop. He will make it to the end. Unfortunately, had to pit for damage, and Dado, who's not had a great race, as we might have seen before, had to come back into the pit lane, and
third pit
doesn't
stop.
look like he's put any more fuel in.
Yeah, he's really struggled in these wet conditions.
He should make it to the end too.
Oh, you would have thought.
However, he will get brought back up with the compression though, so it's not all over yet. And Cosmic Robbie is a very quick driver.
Yeah, that he is. Cosmic Robbie's set to do the double 2-hour stints, so be looking to gain a lot of time back over the next couple of sessions. Oh, race changing moment.
Fish Racing's in. Looking for an undercut possibly.
Yeah, maybe. Although it'd be hard to gain 5 seconds the gap.
We'll see how much fuel it puts in to the end.
See it?
I don't know if you would have. It It looks like he's burning around about 3.5 to 4 litres a lap. He was at 8.1 when he went past the pit lane before.
Geez, I reckon Fish got very close to getting a speeding penalty there.
He's come out in front of Freight Trainer there.
Yeah.
Shows the speed and dominance of the top two drivers in LMPH. And quite the gap in GCE at the moment as well, but it's still nowhere near as big as the other category. Only a 20-second gap from first to second in GTE.
Well, he's closer in the prototype category. You just gotta wait for Squid to make a pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, Freight Trainer is in, so that's the second Porsche in. We'll see where he filters out compared to Taipan Samurai.
A little bit of fuel goes. Just check what he's put there. So he still had 20 litres left before the pit stop. 36 and a half left. 37, sorry.
A lot of fuel put in.
It looks like Taipan should get him here.
Close. Freight's out. And there's Freight and there's Taipan. Oh, he dives down the inside.
Oh, he goes for it. That's the warm tyres and the momentum there.
Yeah. That's crazy how close these two are. So, has that extra fuel that Freight put in the car, is that going to cost him third place in this session? Cost him track position.
So the only drivers yet to pit in LMPH are Emu and Uncrit Squid at the moment.
Yeah, Squid entering the Porsche curves
Just
now.
see.
He's
Not a lot
running
of fuel
quite
left
low.
in this car. Wouldn't surprise me if he comes in this lap.
Yeah, he's running quite fine. Could maybe get away with doing the extra lap, but we know how much trouble Shad's and his teammates have had with fuel economy this year, and yep, Squid's taking no chances and he's pitting in this lap.
As Emu avoids going a lap down there by staying out. Watch him come into the pits. We'll just keep an eye on the speedo here. We'll just see how much fuel he puts in. We know Speed Racer the Fish Racing didn't put a lot of fuel in, but that might be the advantage of the Audi, not having to sit as long.
Interesting that Squid's gone into the pit lane in second gear rather than first. So he's already trying to conserve fuel, even in the pit lane. $35 litres have gone in, and he's not going. Did he have?
I think he might have been repairing a little bit of engine damage, possibly. He's still got Fish Racing covered.
Yeah.
Could be closer than it was though. We'll see as he comes out of the pit lane.
There's Squid.
Yeah, he's got him covered there.
Take it easy through.
But I think the gap has come down.
Yep. Yeah, it's cost him a couple of seconds there for Squid. So
I think that he's actually put in about 50 litres. I don't think that was planned.
no, that's man, put way too much fuel in the car. There's only 16 minutes left.
Could this cost him?
He's still very quick driver there, Squid. I wouldn't say it's going to cost him. We'll have to see how the last 15 minutes goes.
If you check out Taipan and Freight Trainers heating up again.
Yep. Both Porsches have been neck and neck the entire race. It's been a good battle to watch when it's been around. tell you what, I reckon, did Speed Race end up pitting? I don't remember him pitting, because Highlander looks very close.
I think that might just be a bit of a glitch because the actual gap at the moment is 20 seconds between the two drivers, so I don't think either has pitted yet.
Okay, so that is a time
Just
glitch
a bit of
on
a
our
visual
screens.
issue because we're running. I think that's just because of the way that the two categories are running and against each other. Just makes it a little bit confusing sometimes with the timing splits.
Alrighty, so yep. Oh!
Oh!
I'll tell you what, as you
He's
say
gone
that.
wide though.
That's actually going to cost Speed Racer a
About
bit
to
of
get
time.
lapped by our 2 leaders here.
There goes Squid, and there goes Fish past that camera view. These guys head towards Indianapolis.
He's put his
Oh
lights
no!
on there, Fish. Oh,
They both-
bit of confusion then. Speed went to the right, Fish went to the right, and
Oh,
Speed's gone.
Oh, that's
The
hurt
leader
Speed
of the
Racer.
GTE class.
That hurt Speed Racer big time.
This is a big moment in the race, folks. As the second place from the LMPH and the leader of the GTE class come together.
That's why it's important to hold your line as a GT driver. When you start using racing lines instead of just holding it, that's where trouble like that can exist, and that could cost him a lot of time. Though that being
If
said,
he has to come into the pit lane, it will definitely cost him a lot of time. It will
Yeah,
possibly cost him the lead.
well, we'll have to see with that as Emu's into the pits. But if Speed Racer, because he most certainly got damage there, but with 13 minutes left, would you say that he would have enough fuel to get to the finish without the damage that is?
Oh, I'm looking at the damage to that car. It's very, very wide through there. It's possibly got a lot of aero damage.
And a lot of
It's going to be a case
steering
of
damage.
weigh up the consequences. Are you going to lose too much time by staying out? He's already lost a second through the Porsche curves.
Staying out.
Looks like he's going to stay out. He's going to be because we've got 3 to left of the set. He's got about 3 to 4 laps of fuel left. In fact, I think he's got about 3 laps of fuel left, and there could possibly be 4 laps left in the session.
Yeah, that would depend what the prototype drivers do. But that's Emu actually coming out.
As Emu's pitted there.
Yeah, he's going to come in behind Speed Racer. So Emu won't know, or probably won't know that Speed Racer is struggling with his car after that damage. So
Highlander pulling in the gap there. Possibly the wrong call from Speed to stay out there. He's got a huge gap back to Lloyd.
oh, he's lost it again and into the wall.
And he's gone again, yeah. He's
Yeah.
made the mistake there of staying out.
Yeah, especially in these conditions, you should just need to take 0 risk. Yes, it might cost you a bit of track position, but you're going to lose a lot more track position now having stayed out.
Sorry to jump off there because we've got the lead of the race at the moment. It's being contested.
Sure is. It's just
Wonder
over a
if,
second between the two drivers. So. Is Fish going to hand the Dark Racing the car in first place? Aren't the 11 minutes?
Dark Racing will want him to. Definitely be hoping he hands
Dark.
him the car in first place, but it will. With the compression formula, I think it's going to be a really close restart between 1 and 2.
I would have thought though that Darky just want Fish to just keep the car straight, hand it over in one piece. No need to take risks, especially as it's session 1 of 4, and with the 2-hour stint later tonight, plus 3 hours of racing tomorrow. Low risk.
And Highlander just takes the lead of the GTE class.
Yeah. So Highlander hasn't been the fastest driver in the class, but just again, same with Woody Lizard, just kept it clean, consistent, and he's reaped the rewards. Colonel Lloyd can
Bit
get
squirmy
second
there from
left.
Fish.
Can get second in class yet.
I think if Speed Racer has to come into the pits, there's definitely going to be second in class there waiting for him. Possibly even Woody might be able to get third in class. Because they're not far apart from each other. I think the gap's in 25 seconds.
Down to 20 now.
They're both gaining on Speed Racer. Yeah.
Lloyd about to be lapped by the battling Porsche drivers. Don't go right there, Lloyd. I thought I saw that Aston Martin creep to the right a little bit. I was getting my heart rate
A lot
up.
of these drivers will possibly also be in a chat with each other, so he might have been about to go right, but Taipan might have just yelled at him there. Get out of my way.
And there goes Freight. That hybrid power just provides the essential boost needed to get past these GT cars. There's Speed
That
Racer.
Corvette looking a bit sad at the moment.
Yeah, the front bumpers hanging off the thing. You'll need to come in and get that bolt attached, or either taped up or replaced.
He's probably going to want to put a bit of fuel in as well, I think. Just looking at the time to go and the fuel left in that car.
Running very low, so maybe just a splash and dash might be worth it.
This driver's definitely going to make it to the end. Lloyd, a bit better than race speed, but still not great on the fuel. And Highlander got a lot more fuel than the two of them, so looks like Highlander will be able to make it to the end on fuel.
Just maybe.
Thanks.
As look, geez.
Yeah.
Look in the car's attitude through there. The puddle at the exit of the Corvette curve is really starting to. Well, the drivers are really starting to struggle with it.
Fish Racing's made a mistake here. He's got a 13, 14 second gap
That
now.
car's not handling great, so something's gone wrong for Fish Racing in this latter stage. Still got a massive gap to third place though, so not the end of the world.
7.5 minutes left, I think. You can just hold it in second place there. It still won't be the end of the world for Darky when he jumps in the car.
Just got to take it easy the last few laps. Don't need to take any risks. The last thing you need. Oh gee, that car's very sick. Wonder how much time he'll be losing to Taipan Freight Trainer if the car's going to continue handling like this.
He's still got a minute back to the two of them, so he's definitely got a bit of room to play with.
Freight Trainer's actually... Has Freight Trainer dropped off the back of Taipan? Again, the Delta's probably not...
Yeah, he has actually.
This is a bit of a mistake there at the latter stages hurt him as well. So gaps are actually starting to spread out throughout the field. Except for in the GTE class.
Bit of fatigue
with,
probably setting in too.
Lloyd and Woody both catching Speed Racer, who's actually stayed out, so he's continuing on.
He's possibly, like we said about Fish there, there's only 6.5 minutes left.
That is like 40 k's slow in a straight, or at least 40 k's off in a straight line, maybe even 50 to 60 k's off.
I'm a bit baffled by his choice to stay out actually. He's lost nearly 25, he's lost nearly 20 seconds to Woody Lizard in this last lap alone. At this rate, before the end of the race, he'll be back in 4th place.
Yeah.
Which is a real damn shame because he was driving a brilliant race up until that point.
Yeah, he sure was. But, credit to Lloyd, he struggled early, and ever since he spun to give Woody 3rd place, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. Of course, touch wood that nothing else goes wrong.
It wasn't a great lap last time around with 25, but he probably just ran wide somewhere or locked the brake.
So he's also running quite low on fuel.
There's Speed up there.
Yep, So we're about to have a change for second place.
Sorry, I bumped a button there.
So,
I had it
yeah.
ready to go because as soon as Lloydie gets past, we'll just want to watch Woody Lizard catch up to the back of Speed Racer.
Mm.
And I bumped the button.
So, yeah, Woody. No, sorry. So 5 minutes left in this session. So,
Fuel is going to be tight.
yes, very marginal for these drivers. We'll have to see where Squid crosses the line at.
So we might just put the map up for now so we can see where the white dot, the blue dot, I think there, no?
A blue dot
We're
will
looking at
be
the red
Dado.
dots actually, sorry.
The red dots are the
Yeah,
prototypes.
that leading red dot.
Is at the second chicane. Oh, there goes Lloyd!
Oh, Lloydie! You've
praised
mozzed
him.
Sato, you've
I
mozzed him.
touched the wood on the desk. That wasn't me.
Nah, you mozzed him.
I
You
touched
said he
wood.
was doing well.
The myth's been a
You
lie.
sure it wasn't Lino? Fake wood? Must have been fake wood. 'Cause you've mozzed him.
Oh, he's straight off.
Yep,
he's
he's
into
gone.
the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall. Look at the damage.
Yeah, you won't be seeing anything out of that bonnet. So looks like there'll be...
Speed Racer with another. He's got to do another lap, and look how much fuel he's got. He's going to have 1 lap of fuel left as he crosses the line.
Ooh, there's 1 lap after he crosses it, maybe. Depends if Squid laps him on this lap.
Laps him or not? Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it. Where's Squid at the
gonna be-
moment?
Squid is...
Squid's there.
Yeah, he's coming up to the Porsche curves now.
Indianapolis. Yeah. Oh, Porsche curves out of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Highlander should make it. He's going to be tight actually because he won't get lapped.
Yeah, start short shifting now, Highlander. You might just be able to make it though, if it's about 5.5 litres fuel burn.
Speed Racers. If Speed Racer doesn't get lapped this lap, he will not make it.
So with Lloyd,
Lloydie's in the same boat as Speed Racer. And Woody Lizard. He's going to
He'll
be
be
tight
licking
if
his
they have to
lips.
do another lap, but I think he'll be make it.
I reckon Woody Lizard will be fine. In fact, he'll be licking his lips. He's been catching Lloyd and Speed at a rate of knots. He could hand the car over
And if they're
to
not going to make it
Lockie.
on fuel,
Yeah, he could hand the car over to Lockie in second place. Who would have thought at the start of this race that it would come to this?
and Lloydie's round again.
Yeah,
Lloydie won't have a problem with fuel anymore because I think he might get lapped, but yeah, he's lost the spot to Woody there.
Yep, third place again.
I'd be
for
more
Woody.
than happy if Woody brought home 3rd place here. I would not be complaining.
We're probably going to get second place anyway without even having to worry about the fuel. Because have a look at how much he's catching already. That number's just coming down and down and down.
Yeah, I think. But if these two run out of fuel, Gear 3 Gaming might be able to inherit the podium here. After his incident, that would be quite spectacular for.
Yeah, well, Gear 3 Gaming's on his last lap. He's behind Squid.
Woody definitely short shifting here, with shifting to about 7.5 or 8,000 now.
Yep, Squid's on the second part of the Hernerdias as well. And he'll be approaching Woody so Woody will be on his last lap as well. And same with Speed. So in the last lap of this session, after this, these drivers, most of these drivers will be handing over to their co-drivers. Squid will be handing it over
I think
to
Lloydie will be
Shads.
picking up his own.
Yeah, Lloyd's pretty much doing it solo. But Shads will be taken over from Uncrewed Squid. Dark Racing will be taken over from Fish Racing. the number 2 Porsche undecided. And Freight Trainer is doing it solo. And I reckon Pegasus will be taking over from Emu. And in the GTA...
I have to say though, Taipan has done a very good job to hold off Freight Trainer there.
Look at this, less than a second now between Woody and Speed. Oh no!
Yeah, the straight line speed difference there.
It was a straight line speed. Seeing Woody on the grass has made me panic a little bit. It flashes a deja vu.
Oh, don't even go there.
But credit to Woody, he's barely made a mistake and is
the Highlander's going to have another lap after this.
Yep. He'll be oh, he's coming in for a pit stop. He has to make a splash and dash. So Squid's in the Porsche curves, so he probably won't be able to catch Highlander before the end of his stop. So Highlander will actually...
Highlander crosses the start-finish line.
So I reckon Highlander might actually be a lap up on his competitors.
No, I think it'll get set back again once they
well, compression
finish
will
the session. But
that. Oh wow, that's a lot of fuel. Oh, has he stalled or is he waiting? He didn't change his pit strategy. So here's Squid crossing the finish line now.
As Squid finishes the race there. Woody Lizard will be the next car across the line here.
So trying to see how much time's left in this session. I reckon it's about 5 minutes left. So plenty of time for these GTE cars to cross the finish line. Woody Lizard crosses the line second in class. He's done a ripper job.
Fish Racing ended up coming home in second.
Second in class in the LMP class. So he's done a pretty decent job there. Speed Racer crossing his
Speed Racer
wounded
cutting
car.
the last chicane there.
Very wounded car there. And he crosses the line.
And what could have been for Lloydie.
Yeah. But unfortunately there, just spun it with a few minutes to go. And he crosses the line in fourth.
Oh, and a man looking for another lap. He was probably hoping for one more.
Yeah, definitely.
Gaming, another lap. He would have had both the cars in front.
Yeah, unfortunately that incident with Dado early in this race has really cost him. Taipan and Freight are still going hard at it. Taipan in the Porsche curves into the Corvette curve there now. Oh, did he lose that through the puddle, Taipan? Still going.
Oh, sorry, I just saw Emu finishing, that's all.
Yeah. Now we'll go into the final part of the Ford chicane this type, and he finishes third in class in that Porsche number 2. I know it says number 1, but it's supposed to be the number 2 Porsche with Freight Trainer. Just entering the Porsche curves now, so he's actually struggled a little bit in this session. He's had similar pace to Taipan for most of it. He just dropped off right at the end. Both 3 sessions left, just keeping it clean could pay dividends, and that's exactly what he's done in this session. Got 3 minutes left before cars DNF. Speed Race is actually in the pits, and so is Lloyd.
I think they've finished already, so they've walked to the pit lane there.
Probably run out of fuel, that'll be it. They ran it right to the bottom of the fuel tank. Here's Dado. Been very unlucky
so
this
our
session.
class leader for GTE still hasn't finished yet.
Yeah. He'd be about to finish now, I would have thought though. Or where is Highlander on track? Because here comes Dado across the line. He finishes in 6th place. Was that the end of the session? No, Highlander's still going. Hasn't even made it to Indianapolis yet.
He's got 2 minutes to finish the race.
Yeah, you would have thought he'd be able to do that unless something catastrophic happens. And look at that, just by virtue of being placed in a better position to the other races, has picked up a lap.
I'm going to have to run off for a second, Jake. I've
Yep.
got to go to the toilet.
Yeah, it's been too long a session for Lockie, unfortunately. Highlander, stellar job in that Chip Ganassi Ford. The last time the Fords are going to be here at Le Mans as part of the factory or as a factory back team. I think might be a few privateers, but yeah, through the Porsche curves and now into the Corvette curve. If you want to check out the session 2, that will be starting in 3 hours time on Woody Lizard's Mixer channel. Go to mixer.com/WoodyLizard. That is mixer.com/WOODYZ. No, sorry, I'll do it again. mixer.com/WOODYLIZARD. Finally got that out. Thank you very much for tuning in. Myself and Lockie are very grateful for that, and as you can see here, the results here. Speed Race actually got a 3-second time penalty on that last corner of the last of that session. Of course, those gaps there will be compressed between sessions.
I am back.
That was quick. So oh, I've just hit my pedals. Oh, that's my wheels gonna be interesting tonight. I've got to clean that up. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. So as I said, tune into Woody Lizard's Mixer channel for session 2. I've been Sato15. Bloggy15. He has helped me out in the commentary, and I thank him very much.
Fives.
I've lost the ability to speak. Thank God I only have to drive next session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for
tuning.
watching, everybody.
And hopefully we'll see you over on Woody Lizard's Mixer channel in 3 hours time. Goodbye.